Or she could get an anonymous message.
Okay, it's 10 a.m., January 9th. Welcome to the first operation committee meeting of 2024.
Excuse me.
I'd like to call this meeting in order. Do we have any pecuniary interest?
None known?
Okay, thank you. Circulation of the prior minutes. They were, no. Were they approved last? No, we haven't had it.
Yeah,
Were they in the 14th?
yeah, they
No.
were, no, they were approved at the end of November.
End of November, that's right, sorry. Okay, those were approved. Ongoing task list.
So tasks and operations that were completed this year, the daycare parking issue's been dealt with, arena usage on stat holidays is dealt with. Anything else for operations? Philip Olson has started, he's not there every week, but he started doing the skate patrol for the public skates. And that's everything on the completed list.
Can I just make a point on, a comment on that?
Yeah.
I was at public skating last week in Toronto and they had figure skating girls as their helpers or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, with, you know, they had the gear on and all that, and it was, they had control of the situation. So if that's, you know, maybe we reach out to the Point Over Public Skating or the women or the, you know, the skating club. They were older, you know, because there was a mix of, it was more of an older crowd with younger kids because of this, but you know, I made note of that. So anyways, it could be something we can look at in the future.
Okay, and then on the incomplete side, I have reached out to the Pacers, made contact with the guy's wife, but haven't heard back from him. So and it was a couple of months ago that I contacted him, so I'll
Yeah,
try them again and see if there's interest. The truck, it's still to be worked on. Service club, nothing has been done there.
now that's for Veterans Park, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to
Um,
confirm that.
actually, this one is completed. The recommendations from the paradigm study, that is complete. Philip Olson's on here, must have
Yeah.
been on the list twice. So that one's complete. Speed sign, I contacted them. That's the smallest they have. Like there was concern about the size of it. That's the smallest they have. So we're gonna have to work with it somehow. He sent,
I know Cedar Signs has smaller ones, so.
Well, there's
so.
there's a couple different providers.
Yeah, they sent me a quote for some more brackets so that we can do what you talked about and having, you know, so it's easier to move around.
Dedicated spots
Yeah.
or two dedicated
Mhm.
spots.
Keep your hand up. Sorry.
And then line painting for crosswalks, when we get the manager in place, we'll get that looked after. A lot of things are on here twice,
Yeah,
so that covers all that off.
okay. Great,
Derek has a question.
thank you.
The one guy had approached me last year about a partnership for advertising.
I'll speak to that after the meeting.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
What was the truck name?
Just in the capital budget last year, there's to buy a new truck of some sort. And we're gonna, if there's money in the budget, we're gonna, yeah. Yeah. So we'll just carry that money over into from last year into this year and. You guys can get that figured out when the pieces are all in place.
Okay, next item is health and safety, the Arena Joint Health and Safety Committee inspection sheet. I didn't see anything. Nothing jumps out on that one. And I guess we're receiving, a move to receive and file.
Seconded.
Cute. And then Public Works as well. I didn't see anything on there. So I'll move to receive and file that one as well. I have a question. Came up with that mesh presentation we had in November, was it? When are we gonna implement health and safety sheets in mesh?
Shelley.
Do we know, or do we refer that to
Shelley's working on it.
Okay.
She actually had a meeting scheduled for this afternoon, like a Zoom meeting, at 2:15.
Okay.
But then I had to tell her she can't do it because
We're here.
we're here, like.
Yeah.
We can only have one Zoom meeting going on at the time, so she's working on that. I don't know exactly when it's gonna be
Okay,
implemented, but I know she's working on it.
okay, great, thank you. New business arena monthly report. Please, Derek. For, yeah, November and December.
All right. To start with November. In November, we had Blue Water plumbing in to repair our sewage pit for dress room 6, 7, and 8. LK Metals and Ainsworth were in to replace a defective circuit board on our new boiler in our hot water system. Ainsworth was also in at various times fine tuning the efficiency of the boilers and troubleshooting some error codes. Lambton Public Health made an inquiry into hosting an age-friendly expo at the arena. HSE was in to investigate a reoccurring Zone 5 alarm. It was determined that Zone 5 was the actual fire alarm panel. And the issue was that Damar Security's end, they were not clearing the codes and the signals. They apologized for the inconvenience. The holiday skate was booked for December 31st. Village logo mat arrived from Tintad. Black and Mac were in to replace a high discharge pressure switch. That was from the annual inspection. Serenade Glass replaced the broken piece of railing glass. On November 21st, the 2 representatives from Lambton Public Health were back in to tour the arena for the Age Friendly Expo. I confirm that the event has been booked for May 1st. Ainsworth was in to look at a couple heaters that are not functioning. Parts have been ordered. Work management side, 3 full-time, 1 seasonal employee training. Frank completed his certified ice technician recertification through ORFA. Facility activity, for the primetime ice, we were 98% booked at 256 hours, and on the non-prime time, we were 69% booked. Factors affecting the month of November. November seen the highest amount of primetime ice sold in many years. We have added a couple regular users to Saturday evening when the Point Minor teams have tournaments out of town or road games. Starting Select U13 and U15 have been utilizing ice on a regular basis. Interior, regular maintenance and cleaning, as previously mentioned, broken glass on the railing replaced. Exterior, general maintenance, salt bins have been placed by the entrance by Public Works. Community Hall, obviously Optimists continue to operate it. They put a request in for a new exterior door at the north end. Looking into getting a budget price for that. HSE completed the semi-annual inspection of the fire suppression system on the exhaust. Session stand, Red and Co. obviously continue to operate the snack bar. And they passed their dine safe inspection on November 22nd. Monthly inspections, they were all completed, including the semi-annual fire and suppression system inspection of the snack bar exhaust hood. In-venue advertising, Starlight Casino advertising mural has been installed, and Point Edward Ex-Servicemen's Association advertising sign has been removed as per Tina. We still have the Public Works water truck, customer satisfaction, lots of positive compliments from many of our user groups. Lots of positive compliments from the Clandestine Arena and ice conditions from the 2 Sarnia Select teams utilizing our facility. Monthly SOPs completed. Security, nothing to report. Capital budget, obviously conversations have begun for the 2024 capital budget items. Quotes have started to come in for some of the 2024 items. Closing comments, November was one of the busiest months on the ice that we've had in many years. Only 6 hours of primetime ice not sold. We've seen lots of action on the ice with Point Edward Minor Hockey hosting many home games throughout the month. Point Edward Skating Club continued their programming while utilizing extra available daytime ice. We continue to receive lots of requests for ice over the holidays. Ice time is at a premium, but we're starting to accommodate as many users as we can. Looking ahead to December, the ice schedule is very busy the entire month. Point Edward Minor Hockey will conclude their fall season of their hockey schedule while the Point Edward Skating Club is expected to host Santa Claus on multiple occasions. We will continue to try to accommodate as many users, groups as possible over the holiday. We look forward to seeing all the families over the Christmas break utilizing our facility. If you have any questions or concerns, be glad to answer.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is December.
Before you
No,
start,
oh,
I'll
sorry.
just make, I had a comment. So I had a meeting yesterday with the Alzheimer's group that I sit on for the county, and they're excited to be coming back to Point Everett
Yes, they were very
For the-
excited.
for the fair. So I just wanted to pass that on. And the other comment was you had two new teams, East Sarnia Select, so we hear a lot of positive comments about the arena, but it's nice to hear you've got two new users and right off the bat, you know,
Yes.
so obviously they notice a difference that they're commenting on, so that's good. Thank you.
Okay, this is the monthly report for ending December 31st. Replace the niter switch on boiler number 1 of the new hot water system. So it's a warranty job, obviously. We have finally secured escape patrol for public skate on Sunday. Helping out when available. We had an issue in the press room on December 9th with the icebox controller. Chris Baird from Black McDonald was kind enough to walk me through the troubleshooting over the phone. He will be in to reprogram it soon. After contacting Ainsworth multiple times over the past couple months in regards to error codes in the boiler, representatives from LK Metals, that's the supplier, and IBC Technology, the manufacturer, were in to inspect the boiler systems and the installation of piping. Several recommendations were made, and to this day are still being implemented. Ainsworth has guaranteed us they will continue to work with both the supplier and manufacturer to get these boilers running properly and as efficiently as possible. That's still ongoing, I can say, as of today. Boys International Silver Stick finally confirmed that they were using our arena for this weekend. December 13th, we had a fire alarm. The cause of the alarm was determined to be some careless cooking at the community hall. Thank you to all the patrons in the arena for finding the nearest exits and remaining calm during the alarm. 6 p.m. on Wednesdays is generally one of the busiest times at the arena with the Point Skating Club can skate programs happening. The incident happened right between the two sessions. We received both the schedules, obviously, for the Silver Stick tournaments, and on December 31st, we hosted a public skate sponsored by Mayor Hand. The skate was very well attended, and we thank Mayor Hand for her generosity. Work management, 2 full-time, 1 seasonal. All arena staff has completed the fire safety awareness training along with fire extinguisher training. Facility activity, we were 97% sold on the prime time ice and 77% on non-prime time. Some of the factors affecting the numbers, most of the Point Edward minor hockey teams concluded their fall season schedules earlier in the month, resulting in less games and more practice time. Obviously, holiday closures affect the numbers, and Point Edward Skating Club does not utilize ice between Christmas and New Year's. Interior, regular maintenance, cleaning, exterior, general maintenance, community hall. Obviously, we had the fire alarm on the 13th. Concession, Red and Cove still there. All our monthly inspections were completed. In venue advertising, nothing to report. Still public works truck. Customer satisfaction, the big one was many compliments from the Sarnia U11 AA team when they hosted the Saginaw Junior Spirit on December 29th, along with the praises from the Sarnia coaches and parents. The coaches of the Saginaw team were very complimentary on the cleanliness of the facility and the size of the dressing room. Monthly SOPs completed. Security, nothing to report. Still working on budget items, obviously. And closing comments. December concluded what was a very busy month and year at the arena. Point Edward minor hockey concluded the first half of their season, while the Point Edward Skating Club welcomed Santa Claus on several occasions and hosted multiple family skates. Over the holiday season, we sold almost all available ice as we hosted multiple users. Looking ahead to January, the ice schedule is very busy. The arena will host the girls and boys international silver stick tournaments on back-to-back weekends. Start the month. The 24th annual Women's Silver Stick Tournament is scheduled for January 5th to 7th, while the Boys North American Silver Stick Finals are scheduled for January 12th to 14th. The Point Edward Minor Hockey Association will start the reseeded winter portion of their hockey season, and the Point Edward Skating Club will start the second half of their winter program. If you have any questions or concerns, nothing, please.
Mayor Hand, anything?
No,
I-
just we didn't talk about Silver Stick, but last weekend went as well as it could. You
Yes.
had the blip because of the record over time,
And just the schedule of the time
And
slot allotted
scheduling.
for the games was not
not
proper.
sufficient. And you'll feed that back to the
Yeah, I've
organ.
already spoke to him.
Yeah.
You guys survived.
We survived, yeah. All good.
I just have a question on, looks like there's multiple issues with the new boiler system.
Yes, we've never been short of hot water, I can honestly say that, it's just, we have to constantly go in and reset. So when we go and do our compressor checks, we're always resetting this one boiler because of the igniter switch. So they've replaced the switch, they replaced the circuit board. It's just the constant troubleshooting on the one boiler.
Yeah. So,
They're back in Thursday morning this week, so
okay.
I'm on 'em.
It's working, but it's not ideal.
It's not ideal, no.
Okay.
There's never a shortage of hot water, we've never had any complaints, we've never, the water for the Olympia's super hot. It's just
Constant monitoring.
constant monitoring,
Okay.
which we shouldn't have to do.
Exactly. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll move or receive and file that report.
Seconded.
Okay, thank you. Public Works?
Well, I have mine combined into the 2 months here. We don't have as much, so. Updates from previous month, no outstanding issues to report on. Work management, still four full-time employees. Employment training, we took the trench safety course at the fire hall. And we took part in the One Good Shift team building experience at the yacht club. Operations building, interior, no issues to report, exterior, we hauled away 5 dump truck loads of street sweeping to Waste Depot, which saves us some money. We used to have that contracted out, now we do it in-house. Inspection.
Just a question on that. Does that go where the compost goes?
No, not anymore. So compost used to go to Sarnia, but we now take everything to Waste Depot.
Okay, okay,
Because they are a better price and we don't have to wait in line.
okay. And that's
Yeah.
why our price is low.
What's
We
that?
get a better price.
Yeah, a little bit better price, but it's more efficient because in Sarnia, we used to have to wait with the public to dump. So sometimes we were there for an hour and a half in line, especially in the fall. And we asked for a key to come in the back way like what Marcotte does, and we were told we couldn't, so we this was back 2 years ago now, I think, almost, that we explored other options.
Okay,
So
great.
it's worked out well for us. They treat us well there.
Yep.
So we take these street sweepings. It's not just street sweepings, but it's more just like clean field dirt
Sure.
stuff. So we haul that. We used to have a contractor come in with a big tandem dump truck, and we realized that we think we can do it ourselves. So it's worked out so far. Continue to do it until we find it's too taxing on our equipment or something, but so far so good.
Good, thank you.
Inspections, I don't have anything here, but we do our annual or our monthly fire and eye wash and deluge shower. Road sidewalks, parking lot, past the pathway near Victoria Avenue due to damage from the tree contractor who was contracted by Blue Air Power. Blue Air Power, I have spoke with them a few times. They were supposed to come and do some repairs. And I don't know if it's just a miscommunication, but they didn't come this year. But I did speak to them last week. Or this week actually, and told them that they needed to still do the repairs, and from now on. Anytime they're gonna put a contractor on our path with a truck like that, they have to meet with us first so we can do a pathway assessment. So that if we can hold them accountable for any damage done after that. But they do plan on sending their civil crew still to repair it in the spring. He assured me of that when I spoke with him. So we'll hold them to that.
So what's the repairs that you've done there?
We found a trip hazard that you could see where they put a big 7-ton truck on that pathway. It's not built for that. So they punched through the path, so there was kind of a drop off. So what we did was we took cold patch there and tapered it, so it wasn't a
Kind of an emergency repair.
sort of, yeah.
deal.
They're gonna have to repair it in the
Okay.
spring with a proper cutout and relay. But we repaired it so it's at least still usable.
Okay.
Right?
Good.
So
Is that near the pergola? Like
No, I had that cut out when they were doing
Yeah.
the shoreline
That-
restoration.
That's some
That's-
trees there.
What's that?
That's caused, there's tree roots.
No,
In that
I don't know,
depression?
but we had
No?
that fixed when
Okay.
I had Sevcon was doing repaving
Yeah.
that area. So I just went over and reached out to them. I said, hey, while you're here, do you guys mind doing a quick cutout for us? And they were nice enough to do it and actually didn't charge us for it,
Oh,
which was
wow,
nice.
nice. Yeah,
Cause it was just like almost only about this wide. So while they were there, they just did it for us. So, yeah. And then we've done, obviously this will be next time, but we've actually experimented with, doing a few repairs ourselves that worked out really well yesterday. But we think, we'll see, time will tell, but so just for now. Capital, eventually you'll see that, we're gonna try and put some money in to do some repairs or repaving of the path. There's some areas getting bad, but that's for another day. Yeah, so then frost and snow watch has obviously begun. We've had to salt a few times, but so far Mother Nature has left us alone for the most part. Had a couple of slippery mornings kind of thing, but we've stayed ahead of it. Street Sweeper made its final appearance in 2023. I thought they did a good job. They had a little bit of downtime with a broken sweeper, but they looked like I thought they did quite a good job. There's only a few spots where parked cars got in their ways, but they seemed to, they went back and got a lot of those spots for us, so.
oh, that's good.
Overnight street parking ban is now in effect, signs are up. And I see that somehow the OPP is now doing the tickets again,
Mhm.
which was nice to see. Maybe, hopefully they keep it up. We've replaced several of the corn cob light bulbs and the pathway lights and also 2 light headlights. Which was great, because that actually fixed it. We weren't sure because they'd been broken by vandalism.
Mhm.
So water had gotten in there, so we were worried it was gonna be a bigger problem, but it actually worked out that just bulbs and new covers worked. So that was, covers aren't cheap, but it was still cheaper than it could have been. They were almost $1,000 a piece when they break them with the bricks, so.
Yeah.
And we replaced the faded street sign at Victoria and Monk. Parks and public spaces, we got most of the leaf cleanup, in the parks done. Tennis courts were removed, gates were locked. There were Remembrance Day prep at Veterans Park, so we got the wreath hanger up and as Mike puts it, the lipstick, so we went in and cleaned out all the cracks and tried to clean it up and that was a nice day. Worked out a beautiful day for it, so. It was a good turnout. Snow fence was put up at McCray Park. Again, what Mother Nature was sort of not made it necessary yet, but you never know. We installed the downtown Christmas lights and the extension cords at the dead ends for the light up the path, group. That was a little bit challenging this year with the weather because a lot of those breakers pop in that wet weather. So just something that people might have noticed, they were out sometimes, but our 4 AM person was checking on it, but, and some of the people at the dead ends overloaded the circuits quite again, as usual. But we have communicated that with the group, but some were still overloaded this year, but that they're just gonna pop the breakers and there's obviously, the breakers are there for a reason, so that's good. Christmas in the Village festivities, special thanks to Shelley's Elves. This is from Mr. Hopko again, Stephen and Corey. But yeah, we were down there. It went really well. We helped the guys with the maze because they needed some help. And good turnout again. Weather actually was pretty good for it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Lucky.
Yep, and Dave Beatty completed another Port Edward sign, which was installed. And actually the timing was good on that too, because we had a nice day for it, so that worked out well. Inspections, audits and reports, Ainsworth was in to repair one of our overhead tube heaters. It was nice, they did a good job. We've had a lot of problems with that one and it being fixed and then not being fixed properly. These guys actually seem to go the extra mile, contacted the manufacturer. It's so far so good. It's been fixed properly, which is nice. Waterfront and McCray washrooms were winterized by Blue Water Plumbing. And then we put the accessible washroom This isn't in here, but I'll just speak on that, is we put it at Waterfront Park between the two washrooms. And we got a lot of vandalism there. Somebody was cutting holes in the side of it and, so I kind of made a decision to move it to the splash pad washrooms, because there's higher visibility and better lighting. And so far, we haven't had any issues with vandalism since then, so fingers crossed, that continues. Vehicles, truck number 7, was internally surplus and sold. So we can check that one off.
It's back on the streets.
It is, at least it's got the badges off it now, right?
The badges,
They're gone now.
the number's still on it.
The number, that's okay, the number doesn't say where it's from. If he wants, maybe that's his hockey number. Winter readiness has commenced, snowplow blades, salters are itching for roofs, says Mark. That's
Ready to go.
debatable from operator standpoint, but yeah, everything's been ready to go for quite a while. Yeah, we're looking forward to actually, to myself, I just want to see how that new blade works.
There's
Um,
some talk of weather coming in today.
Yeah,
I don't know
well,
if it'll
we'll
hit
see. It looks like rain for the most part,
Yeah.
but maybe the weekend, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'm looking forward to trying the two-way blade and hopefully it's kind of what we're hoping for.
I have no desire to see it.
No, I agree. I'm okay. If it doesn't get tested till whenever, but yeah, it's and then, because that's something else for capital. If it works out well, I wouldn't mind upgrading the other trucks too.
And if we can't test it here, maybe we could go to the county somewhere and maybe just run a quick test, help them out.
Plow some gravel for them, you know? Yeah, I think it seems to work. I can't foresee it being not working as well as we hope, but. Yeah, the little Wonder Leaf vacuum, we had some battery issues with it, but we got that worked out. I think it was just damage from the storm. There was a couple of parts that got broken and it was grounding out, but we figured that out. Took the 3 pickup trucks to Crown for oil spray this year. And then we had another Kubota mower go to South Point for hydraulic repair. Other motorized equipment and tools, other than just winterization for the weed whackers and stuff, there's nothing there. Health and safety, reviewing internal SOPs, so we just go over a few of those once in a while, ones that we don't speak up too much on in our morning meeting. Sometimes we'll sit down and review something like weather checks or something like that. Security, nothing to report. Capital budget, boar fencing was in to install the posts at McCray. I spoke with him yesterday. They are planning on doing the mesh, but they're waiting for, they're setting posts right now because the weather's good. And then he said there'll be about 3 days to do the mesh there and about a day to do at the tennis courts.
and they're gonna wait till the spring.
No, he's
No?
hoping probably, he
okay.
just wants the ground to get a little harder
Okay.
for him because they've got to drive a lot of trucks on there again
Okay.
and it's been wet, so. And they're setting posts right now. I did speak and he said right now they're able to set posts, so they're doing all their post setting right now. But he said guaranteed by spring, but he thinks he'll probably have it done like before March or April
So
kind of thing.
the tennis courts, is that where we're putting it up higher?
We're just extending it
Yeah,
at either
extension.
end,
Yeah,
so.
thanks.
And he has all that already done, like they have to get special, calls it swedging, I think they taper the post down so they can jam it into another post. He said, so that's all ready to go, it's just a matter of once they're done setting posts, then they'll be. And that was yesterday or 2 days ago I talked to him, so. Community feedback, Christmas in the village was a success, good weather, great cheer, smiles on many faces, both young and old and mature. Except for maybe one guy in Monk Street. We won't go there today,
Yeah.
maybe, no.
Too late.
Looking ahead, winter,
Mm.
Well, it was a demonstration of what we have in the
Yeah.
village. to-
yeah, well. Takes all kinds.
Yeah.
Probably brought the community together a little bit, and whether in a good way or bad way, but hey. Closing comments, did you know? On an average compost day in November, Public Works takes 2 loads of compost to the dump. Each load is probably 7 tons, which equates to each employee on the back of the truck throwing 15,000 pounds per day. So. Thanks for that. Yeah.
It's an interesting fact.
Yeah, and then we also cut down 18 trees on St. Clair Tree, chipped and disposed of. It says tree contractor, but it's actually the contractor for the job on St. Clair Tree wanted to charge $2,500 a tree. So we've saved a little bit of money. In the grand
Brought
scheme
it
of things. I
in-house.
know it's not a lot in a
Yeah.
$5 million budget, but it is something.
It adds up.
It
Yeah.
adds up, it helps.
Yeah. So, questions, comments?
Any questions, Mayor Hand?
No, just appreciate the work that was done by your department to get ready for Christmas in the village, because we're able to show off community well.
Yeah.
And again, so it's so weather dependent. That we were lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, especially considering we're calling for rain, so.
Yeah,
we did-
yeah.
Got really lucky on that day.
Yeah,
which
I
is
mean, we've
nice.
had so much rain too, and then.
Yeah.
We were able to pull it off, and everything seemed to go smoothly, except the one demonstration of our police support. But lots of positive comments back.
Yeah. I thought it went really well, so.
Yeah, I just want to echo that, you guys, people don't see you always, or they do see you and they don't see it,
Yeah.
right? But you guys are always, doing stuff behind the scenes and stuff like that, you're always busy in that, you're doing, you're keeping the equipment up and, doing stuff that like the trees,
Yeah,
stuff that normally isn't your day-to-day, work, and it's saving the village money, right?
yeah, Mother Nature helped with that a lot this year,
Yeah.
too, which was
So
great.
the other benefit of not plowing, they get
Yeah,
the time
yeah.
for other things.
And we were able to take advantage of it, worked out great, so.
Yeah, I was quite surprised at the speed that it happened,
Yeah.
right,
we,
down St. Clair there.
Yeah, we
Not
got a
only-
good system. Once we get rolling, we got a good system going there and, we actually divided in Concord for a few days. A couple guys were doing leaves and a couple guys were doing trees and, yeah, we wanted to take advantage of those nice days.
Yeah.
So. And, yeah, and nobody came out and said anything to us, so I think the communication that they were coming down was good. For the X's and I know Jim had sent out a notice that that's would be happening, so that was good, cause you never know, right? You
Yeah.
could have anticipated a little bit.
And
of,
why? We're not just chopping down trees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, right?
The
Yeah.
trees will be replaced by
Yeah.
even better trees
Yeah.
in the end when they beautify the.
Yeah, like a different, they might
Yeah.
not all get trees depending
Yeah.
on how it works
Yeah.
out, but yeah. Yeah.
But it just shows there's progress being done, finally, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And the arena as well, like you guys, like, lots of times you're not seen, but it's all behind the scenes work and stuff like that, that
Everybody
you guys do.
uses the arena, knows the staff by name. They're always commenting on
Absolutely,
by name, right?
Yeah.
Individuals.
so,
thank you.
no problem, thank you. Receive and file that report.
So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Seconded.
Item 3, capital budget.
So just a note to staff to get Tina stuff as quick as possible. And even if you have a list of items and you don't even have quotes yet, even if you just give her a list of, these are the 20 things we want considered. And if you have quotes, give them to her now and then just as
So
you
is
get
that
them.
something you wanna have a meeting about of what we should?
I
shoot
think
for?
we will, yeah.
Because like, there's some stuff in there, like I know the streets we put in the past, like,
Hmm.
you want me to put that in again, that's a $250,000
Yeah.
item. I mean,
Yeah. I do plan on having a meeting with you guys, Doug, Jay, I don't know if we'll get to it this week, but early next week, just
Okay,
to,
now, do you want us to supply Tina with a list prior to that meeting?
I-
or would you rather-
if you've got
because we
one,
should- I don't
because we can
know,
always add to it.
Streamline our list prior to giving it to her,
I would give her a list. And we can add to it or subtract from it, she'll put it all on an Excel
Do you want
spreadsheet.
values then, or just a list?
If you've got values, share them with her, if not, just give her the list and then if you need help getting prices for anything, let us know and we'll try and help you out too,
And budget day is
March 21st.
March 21st, Thursday.
And Derek has an item he'd like to bring forward with capital budget. Now would be a good time.
Yeah, so one of the items on my list was compressor two rebuild.
Yes.
I've got a quote. Attached to the quote is saying it's better for them guys to do the rebuild during season than not in the off season, because in the off season they're doing capital project work at places. And
Mhm.
this is like a 1.5, 2 day job, which they could do during the season. So I mentioned it to Jim that I was trying to get this fast track to get it done now before the end of the season. I know budget day is not March 21st, that's.
Well, we have on occasion done a pre-approval if
Yeah.
it fits in, like you need something for spring. So you need approval before March.
Yeah, so I guess that's, it's. Well, that's $12,000.
Yeah, just under.
It's cheaper than the previous one because some of the parts he has now
Okay.
from the previous rebuild of #1. So, and he's scrounged some other parts together.
So do you want that to go to,
You want to,
If-
Yeah. if
You want a
the committee will
recommendation?
Approve it, then I'll try and get approval to the council. It's one of those items that almost should be done under the operating budget, like,
Yes.
but if we do, it'll take up, you know, a large portion of Derek's
yeah,
maintenance
yeah,
line, so.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that we just need to do. It needs to be done.
Russia one now that we put the external oil filter on, it's 9K.
Yeah.
The oil's clear, everything's running perfect.
So yeah, a recommendation
Yeah.
from this committee today, the council tonight to get
yeah, I'll
full
move,
approval.
I'll
Okay.
recommend that for sure,
and I'll second it and then,
you know. It's good to do it like, as Derek says, like now,
Yeah.
right? Well, they're not busy or whatever.
well,
It's
it's like-
perfect.
Because getting them in the summer, unless it's a capital, unless we're replacing the chiller or condenser, it's impossible.
Mhm.
well, it's lucky we have meeting tonight, so we can
Okay.
do it.
Yeah.
tonight.
We'll add that to the agenda. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Anything else? New business?
If you have anything that you'd like us to consider for capital, just let us know as soon as possible so we can work on getting prices for it.
Sure.
If there's something you're thinking of.
Okay. Well, just on that. We've got capital, I'd like to see a list developed of long-term capital, like not reserves or anything yet, just what do we need to replace with what's gonna happen as far as, we're gonna have 200 new units in the village in the next couple of years. It's gonna impact Public Works, it's gonna impact, I don't know how it could impact the arena, like, doing, think broader to say, what do we need to do? Do we need more? We need more space, like within our buildings. Do we need more vehicles? Do we need, personnel? Like, just to think, because it's coming fast. That other building, I think they're on floor 3 or soon, right? So that's gonna impact the way we operate. So I think we should keep that in your head. As I said, not necessarily now as reserve, but let's get a list of stuff we should be looking at in the future. So. Okay, move on to financial statements. The arena. I just have one question on the advertising revenue. Like, it was bumped up to 21 from 11, and we got the 11, but did
Yeah.
we,
We were hoping to do the
We're hoping-
partnership with.
okay, that was that,
hasn't
okay,
materialized.
okay, great. That's the only question I had there. Oh, one other one, sorry. On the Capitol, on the Olympia, we got money, did we get money back? Cause
Which,
on the we put money in the Olympia Reserve,
mhm.
but that, like, we put more than what we said. I'm just curious where that it's 5132. We had reserved for 6, we put 60, and now this year we got 65 in there. I'm just wondering that 5,000, did you find 5,000 somewhere in a dressing room?
No, so I know when we did the maintenance.
Yes.
In the summer, that was gonna come out of the reserve,
Yes.
and I know that the invoice came in a lot cheaper.
Okay, maybe that's it.
Quoted, so I don't know if that's what it is.
Okay, I'm just curious. That's a good thing,
Yeah,
I think, because all of a sudden our reserve pops up 5,000. Oh, Jim's looking that up. Any movement on that concrete floor? We were gonna do some work there.
We had one quote
Yes,
last summer and just gonna investigate some other options.
okay, because we put in
Again, it's a timing. thing.
Yeah.
When we can do that.
Okay. So that'll be a carryover to 24,
Yes.
right? With more investigation. Do you know if all the bills are in on that water heater system? Okay,
Came in under budget.
yeah, it looks like it's under budget. Okay, that's good. And the roof was over budget. So, okay,
Yeah, I'll have to talk to Tina about that.
yeah, it seemed like it's an abnormality, right? Normally we'll do it, well, or she found money came from somewhere, which is a good thing. Okay, so you have any questions, Beth?
No.
No, so I'll move receive and file the financial statements for the arena. Public Works. Any questions? I think this is just an accounting one on the road fees with the bridge. Like we still got money, so that transfer will happen later.
Sorry, which,
There's a road fees for I'm assuming this is the bridge.
what account number?
0165300010. It's a shared cost. There's no money been moved over. I think that's later
I would
at
imagine.
the end of the year when
Yeah.
Tina does her,
Yeah.
okay? Just trying to follow up on some of this stuff. I think that was all, the only question I had on that.
One question I had there was, I know we didn't use all of our budget for certain items, because I was under the understanding, because we don't do our budget till March, that we had that time to still utilize some of that money. And there was some money in the waterfront part, Jim and I talked about spending it on some LED upgrades for the lighting on the pathway to do like a test run, and they're not cheap, so we were gonna use that leftover money to buy, if we had any, to buy a couple of these upgrades. So there was a couple of spots where I hadn't used up all my budget. Now,
Mhm.
does that money just disappear then? Or can it be moved over to next year and purchase those things?
Were they capital things?
No.
They're operating?
It was
Operating,
Waterfront Park, right? I had money, but I was still waiting for some bills to come in. You and I discussed it, and
Mhm.
remember when I bought the domes for the lights, and I said, well, maybe we can buy a couple of the LED upgrade kits to test.
Mhm.
And we said, oh, we'll wait and see what we have left in Waterfront Park budget.
You thought the end was March?
Yeah,
not
so now,
December.
since I know we utilized some of that money to pay for the repairs of the St. Clair Conservation Project. I believe we put that $3,500 in there, but we had $9,000, which would have given me a chance to buy probably at least 2 of those LED upgrades. So I'm just wondering, there's a couple other spots where I did have money. so,
Mhm.
I don't know if that just gets absorbed. or-
Usually in operating, no, if it's a capital expense, you kind of sometimes you
But
carry
in there,
things over.
the communicate, like I need to understand, that's why I knew when cause I would have ordered those pre-up.
Yeah.
If I hadn't known that, right, so I think there's, I mean,
Yeah, sometimes it's the little details that catch you.
well, and it's just, we don't have a manager, and it was just, he
Yep.
would have taken care of that, so.
Mhm.
Mike and I have taken care of a lot of that stuff, but we weren't given a handbook.
No.
On how this operates,
no,
so,
true. The
whether
one,
it's a meeting, whether it's a
No.
conversation, whether it's anything, I think it's something we need to move
Yeah.
forward.
yeah, well, the waterfront maintenance, what I see here, there's about $6,000 sitting. But is that?
Right, but it's hard. you
That
can't
was
do
last
it-
year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the books are closed for,
Well, they're
23.
not, but
But-
to put it into last year's budget, it has to have been invoiced last year.
Yep.
So like in the capital, what we do is just carry the money.
just carry it
forward.
over.
But
Yeah.
in operating kind of
Closes.
it
Yeah.
closes, yeah.
I'm just looking,
But I know it going forward now, but I think
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
there's gonna be other questions like that arise. I don't know where we stand with hiring a manager, but a lot of the information, I know probably Derek ran into this too, is INREM never forwarded us any information of where he was in anywhere in any of these projects. I didn't receive anything from him.
Yeah.
Other than he sent all their suppliers an email to send me the emails instead of him. So if we are getting a manager, that's fine, then we can lean on that, but if it's gonna continue the way it is, I think we need to either, I don't know if it's a meeting or whether it's but there's no way of us discovering these things without us writing down all these questions and asking
Sure.
at some point. So I think there has to be some kind of communication with us to let us know what our responsibilities are, that what we're, because we are taking on a lot of extra. So there's a lot of this stuff gets lost for us, right? So
Yeah.
for me, that was a challenge because we had leftover in many items, like not a lot of money. But I had plans for all that money thinking that I had
Okay.
March to
Yeah.
spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I find out that it's gone. So now I'm like, okay, now I've got to fit that into this year's budget. When I might have had, say,
Yeah,
$12,000 or $15,000 to spend on those things I needed.
Sure.
And they were things that we need. They're not frivolous
Yeah.
things. They were
No.
things I was waiting to make sure I had. the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Trying to be responsible in that
Yeah.
respect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No. Yeah,
Derek.
I
Derek?
second Steve, on the operating side, it's hard to know how much you got in there. That's almost it'd be nice if we could have like, I know it's probably a big ask, but a live number. Like, you see the numbers, oh, this is as of November 30th. Then you spend a little bit, you don't know what the actual numbers are until the next month.
Yeah.
Halfway through the month. It'd be nice. No, it'd be hard, but you can see the
Yeah.
numbers live.
Yeah.
Like I could look on December 20th and say, hey, I got 5,000 left in building maintenance and repair. Well, I'm gonna get that new heater now.
yes,
Cause I have that money, but you don't
Yeah.
know that.
So, I mean, all you need, not that you would have known this, I'm not
Yeah,
saying you
no.
did anything wrong, but Tina can give you that information anytime.
Okay.
So for future,
But
Yeah.
just got a
Preference.
request.
Yeah.
Rather than getting them at the end of the month like we normally do.
but again, that, I mean, she'll print you off a statement today, and it'll give you everything that she's gotten up to today. But it might be no good tomorrow, right? Like there's, she may have a pile of invoices in her office she hasn't inputted.
Yeah.
You might get a bunch of invoices over the next week, like
Well,
we're,
that could be a question for us to ask her. Like, I know when I submit my invoices, I'm sure you do. So if we know, if you say, hey, did you put those invoices in, get it up to date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
and then,
Becomes an unfortunate burden for us.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just the way it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then also you have to, like, you guys will have to some extent, you'll have to remember. Okay, I've done this project. I'm still expecting, I've got
Yeah.
10,000 in that account, but I'm still expecting an invoice for 6,000 from,
That's kind of what I was doing
Yeah.
with the lights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, going, okay.
yeah,
Like I've been bugging them all last week, like send me those invoices,
yeah.
you know.
And that's
other
pretty
companies are
normal.
better than that. Like,
Yeah.
some people want to get paid, I'm surprised. some people don't. So-
It's,
And that was partially
Yeah.
why I didn't order the lights, because I was waiting for that one.
right.
Or I would have ordered those upgrade lights that, or maybe more than. I think that's part of our problem with those, with the pathway that I shortened out, some of them are getting cracked.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna suggest you do, Steve, is put together a list of things you would have liked to buy with money from last year's budget. Operating side.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, when we go through everything, if there's a large surplus from last year, then maybe council might consider giving you $10,000 to go buy those items that you thought you had till the end of March to build or to
so
purchase.
on top of the 2024 ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, because I know there will be a
And-
significant, amount in certain, that's like, I know in our training budget, we didn't use as much because. Again, our manager was usually the one that created the trainings, like I went on a couple of trainings that are mandatory for my job. I know when Imran was here, he was taking a lot of different trainings and going to, so I think a lot of that budget went to him initially. So I think like. So there's a surplus of probably $11,000 there, and I'm not asking for that money necessarily. I don't want to do, I think we have to figure out what trainings we've got to go.
Yeah.
on, but,
Yeah.
but it's the operating part of it where,
Yeah.
I did have plans. for it, right?
Yeah.
So,
so that's, I think you mentioned to me weed eaters.
Yeah,
Weed
I did, I
rippers,
was able
like-
to, some of that stuff was because I was in the week before
Okay,
and got prices on it, so they were able to work that out for me for the 223 budget. for
Good.
me. So that actually worked out.
okay.
I did.
So whatever the list is, just put it
The lights
with the
was probably
price.
the main thing for me
Yeah.
is those, because they're, I got to look, but I think they're about 20. $2,300 a piece for those upgrades, right? We've got 90.
You can do the same thing, like,
And mine was just a couple heaters, like the
Yeah.
heater in our workshop. Each per month, but it was kind of the $1,200 repair or $2,500 puts a new heater.
right,
So then I was kind of seeing what was in that budget line. Give the guy to go ahead
Yeah.
and then, well, Christmas comes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't know yet if we're gonna be in a surplus situation or not, but prepare that list. It doesn't hurt to have it.
Okay.
And then, I mean, it'll be part of this year's budget process, but say, you know, we have. Let's say we had a $50,000 surplus for 2023 and and you were hoping to do a couple of things. Council may consider, I mean, we can ask for it.
But this year,
Oh, yeah.
I know in my past work that say in November, there'd be a statement saying, it looks like you're gonna have X number of dollars left. So you got a heads up,
That would be great.
right?
If you
So
had a
you
heads
could
up
build
date.
that into the process of like a year-end alert. And then we knew like, okay, is there anything that you wanted to get?
Yeah.
'Cause I
Right?
kind of went through my last one that Tina sent to me, and I highlighted all the things that I had a surplus in at the time. And then we went through and talked about, okay, what do we need here? What do we need here? What do we need here?
Hmm.
We came up with a list of items that would make sense to buy at the end of the year, like weed eats for the next spring. Just things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And so I had that list. It was just a matter of, I didn't realize the timeline. of
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yep. So did we? Financial statements approved? Like, did we
Seconded?
do that?
I don't think.
Okay, we're good now.
Now,
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other discussions on anything?
This doesn't really relate to you, but just a heads up, my neighbor's house that faces the trail got egged on Friday night,
Got what?
egged,
Oh, really?
like, duh. I was shocked.
Toilet paper or treats?
No, I smashed eggs on the side of the house and he had to get, you know, the squeegee and clean and.
Yeah.
I said I haven't ever heard of that happening along the trail. But he did report it and then he just, if you hear anything along the trail, I thought it was kind of bizarre,
Yeah, it is.
in the winter and-
Strange thing. It
Yeah.
seems like,
weird. Just-
well, it is, or it's like, I don't know, did he make somebody mad?
Well, he hasn't lived in Point Aire that long, so.
Yeah, chances are no.
But he's retired OPP. No, did somebody find out?
Yeah, that
No.
is an odd thing. Like,
It isn't, I thought it was odd, and like
Yeah.
there's broken egg things all over the sidewalk and just craziness, but.
Yeah.
If you hear anything along there, he,
Yeah, cause like the 4 AM guy, usually that's not actually on the route, but I know most of us do drive down under the big flags and come
yeah,
back out.
it's just
I mean, the timing would have to be perfect to see it.
Yeah.
a bizarre thing.
But it is something that our 4 AM shift, especially at this time of the year when there's all that, we do kind of do a
Yeah,
neighborhood patrol a little bit.
Yeah.
When we're doing that, we patrol a lot more of the roads because we're not.
and it's easy to roam on those trails at night and
Oh, yeah.
cause mayhem, but that was just an odd thing.
Yeah.
Thought for the winter, but.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe Laws has got a camera out of it.
Oh, they do have a
Right.
camera.
I don't know how far they reach, but they might, not that, I don't know what they do about it, but.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might not.
Might not
just
get-
Pump kids or something.
Yeah, I don't know if we get it close enough. The next time I'm in there and look,
Cause harm if it's
No,
wrong. right?
no.
Like, it's more of a statement than a.
he was just, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
not something.
This week, the
But-
kids were off school.
Yeah, you had
Yeah,
to do a
sure,
cleanup, so,
or- Eggs are cheap either, so somebody is.
yeah, like, duh. Anyway, he did report it, so
Okay.
I didn't hear about anybody else getting them.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Nothing? Okay, so the next meeting will be February 13th, 10 AM and move to adjourn.
So moved or seconded?
Thank you.